Hey everybody, welcome to the Arizona Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, and I'm here with my co-host,
Joey Sampaga.
And we also have a special guest for you today. We're super excited to have Mike Serto here from the Serto team over at Fairway Independent Mortgage. How you doing, Mike?
Wonderful. How's everybody on the show?
You know, it's been a good day.
It hasn't been that good. I actually dropped my phone in the bathtub watching the Arizona Cardinals play.
Not much of a Cardinals fan over here, but yeah, probably serves you right, Joey.
Wow.
Sorry, man. You know, my Chiefs aren't doing that great, so it is what it is. But my Royals, how about my Royals?
Congratulations.
And
man.
I'm a Colts fan, so Arizona Cardinals are always fun to watch, but the Colts not so fun to watch this year, guys.
No, totally. Same with the Chiefs.
So we got to support the home team. Come on, folks. This is Arizona.
I guess so. So what we're excited to bring Mike in today because he is going to share with us how people can buy houses here in the Phoenix area with very little down and sometimes maybe even no money down, or at least a big portion of it covered, correct?
That's absolutely correct. There's still some true 100% financing products out in the market today. Of course, for our qualified veterans, the VA loan is always the best option out there.
Yeah.
Also, there's a USDA rural housing loan. That's available out in Queen Creek and some of the outlying areas. But then there's also some great down payment assistance programs out there, and you don't necessarily have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify.
Okay. So let me get this straight. USDA, it doesn't have anything to do with stakes, right? No, I'm just teasing.
No. A lot of people think you need to live on a farm to finance a home with the USDA rural housing, but that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the rest of this, I know we've got a lot of things that I really have some questions for you. I really want you to share with us and the people listening. Tell us, give us a little bit of your background. How about that first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in lending for 14 years now, going on my 15th year. Passionate about the industry. It's fun getting to work with people every day, help them realize the dream of home ownership. A lot of buyers are getting back into a home after a major event. A lot of us went through foreclosures or short sales or bankruptcies, and it's not uncommon to talk to people every day who have been through that.
Yeah, I tell you what, being in the mortgage and real estate world now for over 15 years myself, a lot of the people I knew here in the Valley in real estate or mortgage went through either one of three things: foreclosure, short sale, or bankruptcy over the last, I guess it's been quite a while now, over the last 7 years, right? So it's, and I think we have a different podcast episode we're going to be doing also that's going to cover some things about credit and some of the waiting periods and all that. So make sure to tune in for that one as well. But let's then jump into the down payment assistance. I know we mentioned VA, USDA, and some of the other down payment assistance alternatives, but tell us, is this something that's for first-time home buyers, or is this open to anybody?
It's open to anybody. A lot of these programs are called first-time homebuyer programs, Jeff.
Yeah.
But you don't truly have to be a first-time homebuyer. And that term in our industry, the first-time homebuyer, means you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. So we do see a lot of people, that are using it as a first-time homebuyer product.
Right.
But you can actually own other real estate and still qualify for some of these grant programs.
Okay.
We have people selling real estate and using the grant programs just because they're not netting enough, or maybe they want to keep some of that cash back to improve the property, do some painting, do some landscaping work when they get in. Okay. So it really bridges a lot of different areas that people need.
Okay. So down payment assistance and grant. I know we mentioned grant. I don't know if everybody knows really what a grant means, but I mean, to me, somebody's probably giving me some money to help out to do something. But if I had the grant program, if I got it for myself, would I have to pay back? I mean, is this something that they're going to want the money back at some point?
That's a great question, and it depends on what type of down payment assistance you're working with. A lot of the programs that we utilize don't have any recapture or repayment. You could literally sell the home in 3 months, 3 years, or 30 years, and you never have to pay that money back. But when you're talking to a real estate agent or a qualified mortgage professional, you really do need to ask those questions, because some of the programs out there do have a recapture where you have to live in the home for a certain period of time.
Okay. Recapture would mean that so they live in a house for a certain amount of time. If they sell it during this recapture period, then they would pay a portion of it back.
That's exactly right, Jeff. Perfect.
Well, what are some of the downsides to using a program like this?
There's a lot of upsides, but the downsides are, typically there's a slightly higher than market interest rate. Take for instance, today FHA loans are running ballpark 3.875 to 4%. And one of the more popular programs, a Home in 5 program, is currently set at about a 4.375%. So you pay, maybe 3/8 to a 0.5% higher interest rate. Monthly payment, maybe $25 to $35, maybe $40, depending on your loan amount. But in the long run, saving you $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for your down payment and closing costs is a huge benefit.
Big benefit, yeah. That was a great question, Joe.
Yeah, that's good.
And I know we kind of went over this one. I kind of had something written down here, but how about breaking down some of the types of loans that actually work with the down payment? I know FHA, there's FHA conventional, things like that, but you want to elaborate a little bit on those?
I'd love to.
Okay.
There are two big FHA programs that we use and the industry uses here in Maricopa County and outside of Maricopa County. Most relevant in the news would be the Home in 5 program. A little bit of background on the Home in 5. It was around and we used it a lot back in 2003, 2004, and 2005.
Yeah.
At that point, the funds dried up, the mortgage crisis happened, the housing crisis happened, and now we've seen that program come around here in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
That is an FHA program, so we do follow Federal Housing Administration, their guidelines, then some overlay, some additional guidelines that the Down Payment Assistance Program outlays. But for the client that maybe had a foreclosure or short sale, maybe doesn't have perfect credit after that event happened in their life, that would be a great fit for them. The conventional down payment assistance programs are fairly new to the market. They've been around for about a year now. Great structures for kind of a higher end credit score qualifier. You can have as low as a 640 credit score and still qualify for conventional down payment assistance.
Okay.
It really depends on the client's qualifications, what type of event they've had in their past, depends on what we would recommend for them.
Okay.
With the conventional down payment assistance, those programs are called the HFA Preferred. There's two nonprofits that run those, and you can buy a house up to $356,000. So there's really a lot of people think down payment assistance. Hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a house for more than $150,000 or $175,000. It really doesn't fit my profile. And we've had clients buying $340,000 houses up in Scottsdale that need the help and qualify.
Yeah. Well, and at $350,000, I mean that's a good sized property here in the Valley.
Yeah,
Big
absolutely.
So,
and if you can get $15,000 a down payment assistance, that's great. That's a lot of money.
So some of those things that I see out there that say get up to $15,000 for purchasing a home, I mean that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And they're true. We've seen it in true life, in action.
Yeah. Well, they can contact you to find out how to do it, right? So I think it's certoteam.com, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Well, as practicing real estate agents, both Jeff and I we're dealing with clients all the time. And
Joey's practicing.
Yeah, I'm
not practicing. No.
Anyway.
Sorry, I had to throw that one in. It always cracks me up. The doctor has a practice, right? And I'm thinking, well, are we done practicing yet?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, as a practicing real estate agent, we have clients who sometimes they hear things about possible issues with these programs. Can you maybe outline some of those issues or maybe those myths?
Yeah, absolutely. There was some news a couple months ago. HUD did kind of dig in their heels a little bit on this program. It was tweaked a little bit and changed a little bit. These programs have been around for 20, 30 years, and they're throughout the entire country, not just here in our local market. And HUD has assured us that they're backing these programs after an audit was done on the program, and one of our local lenders was in the news. They said, hey, these are good programs. They're here to help our clients purchase a home, and they're going to be around for a while. Of course, we can't guarantee how long they're around. So if you are interested in purchasing a home, there's no time like now to give somebody a call and start talking about the process and see if you qualify.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I would say the same thing because with rates still historically low, right? And the Fed's talking about raising rates at some point, but just because the Fed makes a change to the Fed funds rate doesn't mean that it's going to impact mortgage rates right away. So it could be a great time to start buying, especially the end of this year going into the first half of next year. And like Mike said, these funds aren't always available. They're currently available, but there are times that they may get a little bit low or put it on hold or whatever the case, So in your professional opinion on the mortgage side, you feel like these are great programs.
They're absolutely fantastic programs. We helped 14 families last month alone get into homes using grants. And guys, a lot of people think that down payment assistance, just hits the few people who may qualify and fall into that just really minor niche that's out there. On the Home in 5 program alone, over $130 million of mortgages have been funded in the last 2.5 to 3 years.
Wow.
So $130 million just here in our local economy. People need the help to get into a home, have utilized this type of down payment assistance.
Yeah. Well, I was reading an article from Realtor Magazine, from National Association of Realtors, and this person was talking about how, there are over 1,000 of these types of programs. I think it said like 1,600 or something across the country. And the thing he mentioned was not very many real estate professionals understand that these are available. And my whole thing is, it's there. The money's available. You might as well see if you qualify for it before you ever start looking at homes. Why not?
Absolutely. If it can mean thousands of dollars and not waiting to save up for the next year or two, to budget up a down payment of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000.
Yeah.
If you can budget $300 away, it's a long time before you can buy a house.
Yeah.
And if you can use these grant programs, you can get in at the end of your lease term or get back into a house after a foreclosure just after a few years.
Right. And that's, folks, that's again why we had Mike Serto on the show, on the Arizona Real Estate Show, was to really outline those, because we want you to be updated and educated on what programs are truly out there and available in today's mortgage and real estate market here in the Phoenix area. What about credit? I know you mentioned some of the conventional stuff allowed this, but do you have to have good credit?
No, you don't have to have great credit. There's a lot of people who think you've got to have perfect credit to go buy a home. Really, that's not FHA stance. Yes, you've had to pay your bills on time. There's a lot of help out there for you if you don't have good credit. 640 credit score is by no means a perfect credit score around the 850 mark. FHA allows you to have a couple hiccups on your credit. So, no, you don't have to have perfect credit. And if you need a little bit of help, we can help with that. We've got a credit services program that's dedicated to help our homeowners achieve home ownership. That's a free service that we offer.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I think that you're going to, I need to get some more about that too, just because I want to make sure that I understand how you guys are doing that and how it can help the clients that are listening to the show, for sure.
Jeff, let's talk about that on the next podcast when we talk about credit, and we'll cover that on the next show.
Awesome. Sounds good. Do you have another thing lined up there?
Great information for people who are looking to buy homes. I'm super excited. And so really, all people need to do is just contact you, correct, to see if they qualify for these things, right?
Absolutely. We do a free consultation. We'll give clients a copy of their credit report. We want them to know, where they are in the qualifying process. It's a free process. There's no reason not to pick up the phone, spend 15 minutes with us. We'll give you all the ins and outs, exactly what you need to do to qualify for these programs. And guys, recently I wanted to share one other thing about the Home in 5 program is they've recently increased the grant amount from 4% to 5% for qualified individuals.
Wow.
And, a lot of our underserved people who, give service to our communities now can qualify for 5%. So I wanted to talk about that for a quick minute if I could.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Let's take a couple minutes because I think it's helping a lot of first responders and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, teachers. Teachers have a really tough time. They're teaching our kids, but a lot of times they're not making a great deal of money, so they have a hard time saving up for down payment. They get the extra 1%. So they get a total of 5% of the total loan amount. Our qualified military personnel and veterans, whether you're in the active National Guard, an active reservist, whether you're a qualified veteran, they get an extra 1%. Yeah. Like you said, first responders, sheriffs, police officers, peace officers, detention officers, they are all qualified to get an extra 1%. Firefighters and firefighter personnel, emergency personnel, I think that's about all, but that's a pretty wide category to offer an extra 1%, which could equal $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 more in additional grant money.
Right. And I bet a lot of people don't know that this change happened.
No, a lot of people don't. There was recently a news segment just over a week ago, but I talk to people every day on the phone where, when I pick out one of these categories and tell them they might be calling about down payment assistance, but they don't know they get that extra 1%. So it's fun being in the seat and talking and educating people. They get excited. We break down the dollars and cents, talk to them about what it's going to take to get into a home. And it's a pretty quick path to get people into the home when all you need is a little bit of money to get into a house.
Right. No, I totally understand. And so I have some of those in front of me here. So qualified military personnel, active duty military, active reservists, active member of National Guard, and our veterans, obviously. First responders, so police officers, sheriffs, deputies, detention officers, personnel employed by the State Department of Corrections, correct?
That's correct.
And firefighters, emergency personnel, and teachers. Wow. That's a big audience. That's a lot of people.
I have a question about teachers. So I'm going to be working with a client here who's the wife is a teacher, but I think she's going to be taking some time off. But then the husband works as an administrator, like an IT person for the school district. Does that count as being a teacher?
Administrators aren't currently on the list. The teacher would qualify just as long as they're teaching K through 12. That's what the program outlines right now. We may see some changes because this is so new. It's less than 30 days old. But right now, if you have any questions on whether you qualify, we have direct contact with the director of the IDA, Sue Denahan, and we can always pose that question to her.
Perfect.
Awesome. Mike can pull some strings.
Yeah, he's got the pool.
I know the directors of these programs. We go back, 12, 13 years. So even though this program's been around for a couple of years, I talk to these people on a weekly, sometime monthly basis.
Cool. You know what? I was going to ask you, so your recommendation, if someone is thinking about buying a home, let's say in the next 12 months, how soon should someone contact you or start the process of figuring out what they can really qualify for?
Pick up the phone right now. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't put it off until after the holidays when the decorations come down. It's really call now.
Yeah.
You can never be too sure exactly what's on your credit report. Some people have a pretty good idea, but if we've got a 12-month time frame to work with a client to get them into a better credit score situation, make sure that there's no flaws. We work with clients 12, 24 months away from buying a house.
Yeah.
So we'll keep track of you. We'll make sure you're on the path. We'll make sure you're in the right price point. You make sure that you've got an affordable housing solution. And, the time really is now.
Yeah. Well, and that's my thought, too, because even if they're in a 12-month lease, let's say it's 12 months out, like you said, you don't really know what's on the credit, or hopefully people do know that they've been paying their bills, but there might be a little glitch here or there, and your team can help kind of guide them on how to get to a better position where they're getting the best qualifying loan. So I think that Mike is absolutely correct. Even if you're 12 months out, start the process now. That way they can get you financially on the right path to owning a home here in the Valley. So, Mike, do you want to mention how someone can contact you?
Sure. You can always go to our website. That website is certoteam.com. That's spelled CERTO and then team, TEAM.com. That has all our contact information up. You can also give our team line a call at 602-429-6789. And I'll repeat that for you guys one more time, 602-429-6789.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions for myself or Joey Sampaga, who practices real estate,
I guess it does sound kind of bad, doesn't it?
One day he'll be a true professional, Jeff, just like you.
I'm just busting your chops, buddy. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today on the show, and we'll sign off now. This is not Joey Sampaga. This is Jeff Underwood.
He wants to be just like me, Joey Sampaga.
I just want to be like Joey. Hey, guys, have a great week. Take care.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, guys. Have a great afternoon.
All right. We have to cut that part out.
No, we're leaving that in, right?